Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So I'm in a bit of a somber mood. I've just gotten word, actually I found out yesterday, that my friend Bradley R. Weissenberger, also known as BRW to those that loved him, has passed away. Bradley was, I believe, 51. I'm 53. I think he was a couple years younger than me. And it's a devastating loss. Bradley was he was an unbelievable spirit, an unbelievable presence. And I can't say that I spent a lot of time with him in person. He was mainly, what I would consider an internet friend. And I met him through a punk rock forum based out of the studio in Chicago, Electrical Audio. And he was just very supportive, besides the fact that he was in two really good bands, really great bands. And he was an amazing musician. He was an incredible drummer in the band 22, principal songwriter as far as I know, singer. Another band that he was in called the Book Burners that was full of great musicians and great people. And he was a songwriter in that band, a singer in that band, a drummer in that band, a guitar player in that band. Because when you're a real punk, you got to be able to do everything, And that's what Bradley was. He was a real punk rocker. He was the real deal. And to me, all punk rock is DIY. Doing it yourself, doing it with your friends, doing it for your friends, doing it to help your friends. It's not for personal gain. I've never seen another musician, another talent, another artist like Bradley who supported other people in their work and made sure to, put them first. He would talk about other musicians and other bands before he would talk about himself and his own bands. Very generous spirit. He had a great radio voice too. He had a radio show called the PRF Radio Hour where he generously presented the music of the bands of the PRF, and the PRF was and is their premier rock forum. It's a huge loss for me, and I'm beginning to realize at this age that this is part of the reality. I'm dealing with older people in my life, in-laws and parents that are in that next phase from where I am, and the people that are my age are suffering. And Bradley must have been suffering to an extreme level because he had a wonderful family, a beautiful family, 2 daughters that I know of for sure. And he was really, really heavily into those girls and family life and dad life and being a dad. And he loved it. They used to go to amusement parks. I'd see him, posting, and they're beautiful children. He was a very attractive guy. Really piercing blue eyes, and the children were beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to look at, a dad, super into his daughters. I'm just trying to come to grips with it, trying to understand. Brad had he knew how to do things, He had ethics, he had civility, he had manners. One of his big trips was like, when you go see a show and support your friends, and you should, that's the whole thing, is you go support other bands, and if you're playing with 3 bands, you get there early and you watch their show, Or if you play early, you stay, and that's the kind of guy he was. And he always would stand in the back, tall guys all the way to the back. Otherwise, you're blocking the view. Women can't see people that aren't as tall, So he believed in he would always stand in the back with his arms folded. He told an incredible story. He was a great writer too. Besides being a musician, singer, multi-instrumentalist. Singer, he also had a really great radio voice, and a great writer. And one of the stories that I actually got to read that he wrote was his remembrance of a near-death experience. He was on a boat, and he was Midwestern to the bone, so it must have been somewhere like around Chicago, but he was on a Great Lake or something, you know, somewhere in Wisconsin or Illinois, I don't know where he was. But he's going along on this fishing boat, you know, it's like a fishing trip with a bunch of friends. And and Bradley, you know, was very opinionated about music, and he wasn't, you know, the biggest fan of Pearl Jam. And the guy that was on the boat was really excited about Pearl Jam, and he was playing the music, hoping that it would get Brad excited because he knew that Brad was a musician. And because this guy was so excited about Pearl Jam, and even though Brad wasn't the biggest fan of the band, he decided that he made the move of just celebrating the music with the guy and just letting the guy, you know, feel good about it instead of telling him he didn't like his band. He went with it, and they really, you know, bonded together. They really bonded together over the music, and he, you know, had a little moment with him. So a little while later, they're going along, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but he got to the edge of the boat, maybe a spot where he wasn't supposed to be, and he literally fell overboard into the water. So now he's in the water, and he says he takes a couple of gulps of water and looks up at the sky, and it's like, well, this is it, you know, this is it. And meanwhile, back on the boat, the guy that he had bonded with over the Pearl Jam was going to put on another Pearl Jam record. And so he puts on the record, and then he wants to see Brad's reaction to it. So he runs down from the top of the boat to where everybody, all the people that are fishing are. And he can't find Brad anywhere. He's like, where's Brad? Where's that guy? He's nowhere to be found. Must have fallen overboard. They turn the boat around, they go back, and they saved him. Saved his life. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what it means. I just want him to be remembered, you know. I don't like the idea of these amazing people just being gone. And he helped with so many projects. He was always, you know, the guy that would help. Put other people first, you know, for himself. He was a good kid. I'm going to miss him. And I know that there's a lot of people that are going to miss him. And he did some amazing work. Salute, Bradley. Salute, BRW.